Hello there, I'm Ali Wallace, founder of DNA Recruit. Welcome to the latest episode of the DNA Download. So being a leader within the agency world is hard. When you get it right though, there's no better place or environment to thrive in. But it takes resilience, a deep understanding of how you continuously adapt and react, especially in the last 12 months. That's why we created this podcast, to help agency leaders share their experiences, advice, and tips with others so you can accelerate your agency's growth. So I'm really excited to be joined today by Stuart Bradbury. Not only is he a client, but he's also a long-term friend. We both went to the same school, and we've got to know each other incredibly well. Other than that, he's managing director at Avantgarde UK, who are experts in designing powerful brand experiences that turn people into lifelong brand evangelists. Stuart describes himself as a brand experience expert, frustrated explorer, mountaineer, and martial artist. So I'm really looking forward to this one. So before we get into that, Stuart, welcome and thank you. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Ali.
Well,
yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm good.
Good. So, now, as I said, it's lovely to have you on this. As we know, we go back a long way. We first met each other at school, and I think it's a great thing, and it's a testament to the individual when you not only work with someone who's a close friend in a professional perspective. When you do have a really close relationship, it means a lot about what your relationship is about, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we've known each other. We've known each other for about 30 years, I reckon now.
Yeah,
a long time. Yeah, absolutely. So, no, thanks for asking me to join you today, Ali.
Yeah, no, it's great, and I think, to put that into perspective, we not only, I've worked with you many years ago. I'm helping you into certain businesses that you worked in, and then right now we've been working with each other as me as your sort of partner and helping you with talent for probably the last 10 years, right?
Yeah, well, at least you've been very helpful, certainly at Avantgarde for the last 12 years, but we've worked together within other agencies, so probably 20 years, I would say.
Yeah, that's a long time. So
yeah.
What I'd love to do is just to introduce yourself a little bit more, just to understand how you first got into the agency world.
Yeah, sure. Really, it started, I suppose, at university. I studied industrial engineering, and we had one particular module which was called new product development, and I had a total appreciation for great design, but I was really interested in how do you take a product to market, and this really started, I think, my interest in marketing. And then from graduation, I decided that I wanted to sort of build on that sort of experience, and my first job was working for ExxonMobil in the marketing department, which was great to work for a big blue chip company.
Was that a sandwich course, or was that a?
It was on their graduate sort of program.
Okay.
Yeah, and then from there, I because of my appreciation for design, I started to think, well, what's a great product which I can assist in marketing, and coming from a background of industrial engineering, I thought, well, sports cars and marketing, you don't get much sort of sexier than that. And so I started to apply for sort of sports car manufacturers, and ended up working for MG Cars as their sort of London brand manager.
I remember it very well. Being very jealous of your company car, I seem to remember.
Yeah, and it was great to have an MGF when I was so young.
Yeah.
But it was a great, proper, I suppose, introduction to working with agencies, which I didn't get when I was at Exxon. And so I worked with them for a number of years, and working closely with a number of their agencies, started to feel that I wanted to take that step into the sort of agency world, and started to apply to some creative agencies, and got a job as a business development, I think it was business development executive when I first started, for a creative agency called The Bank.
Yeah.
And I was there for about 6 years, built up to be their business development director. And then you actually approached me and said that there was this experiential agency that had only really had just started, called Ignition.
Mm-hmm.
And
With the legendary Fred Porro.
with Fred Porro, yeah. And they're now part of the sort of Wasserman Group. And during my time at the bank, we covered lots of different areas of marketing, and one of them was sort of events and experiential. And I think it comes back to that sort of appreciation of design and production and architecture, which I'd studied at university, and so I took that sort of leap into sort of experiential marketing, and it was fantastic. We worked on some wonderful campaigns in music and sport, and then from there I started to feel like I wanted to sort of start my own agency up, and got introduced to a group, and again you helped me with that role as their sort of group business development director, and so I was working across multiple agencies within that group, and then the next step was that I still with that sort of idea that I wanted to kind of start my own agency, got introduced to the guys at Avantgarde in Munich.
Mm-hmm.
So went over to Germany and really just started to have conversations with the founder at Avantgarde, and we had a lot of shared values and a vision, and they wanted to build this agency up in London, within a few weeks I found myself in a little room in Hammersmith, and
I remember
started
on Rainville Road,
Avantgarde London, and it's just grown from there over the last 12 years. So that's
awesome.
kind of how I got into the agency world.
Well, tell me a bit more about your 12 years as being MD, because it's a good period of time, but I bet it's shot by.
It has. I mean, wow. I mean, the time has just absolutely flown by, and as I said, when I first started 12 years ago, in that little room in Hammersmith, with my sort of black book, so to speak, in my business development background, it was very much right. Let's get going. Let's build on this agency. Who do I know? Who can I reach? And I built on those sort of relationships that I had developed over the years, and slowly but surely grown the agency. So from Hammersmith, we sort of moved into an office in the city. We were there for a few years, and then went to Charlotte Street. And,
you were there for quite a long time, weren't you, Charlotte?
Yeah, we were there for a number of years, and we shared an office actually with an advertising agency called Donor, and we kind of outgrew our space, so we had to find some new premises and move to Gray's Inn Road, and this is where we are. So and it's been interesting over the years how brand experience has evolved. I think that's what's been so exciting. I mean, I think when we first started, it was sort of live marketing and experiential marketing with some sales promotion, but we truly are a brand experience agency, as we've kind of developed different departments, different services within the business. So we cover everything from content to social. We've got a very strong digital offering. Thank goodness we have over the last 12 months, and it's the business Avantgarde as a business has evolved, and
Yeah.
it's all about, for us, putting the experience first. So
Yeah.
not focusing on one particular channel, but focusing on what that experience is and delivering it across multiple touch points.
Being on the journey with you, you know, I remembering you starting with Avantgarde and, you know, looking at the business and thinking, wow, that's an amazing opportunity to launch something in the UK and, you know, arguably a small part of Europe with such a strong business. But what skills from your experience in business development specifically, because that's, you know, that's where I see you as standout versus anybody else, have prepared you to be an MD?
Yeah, no, good question. I mean, I absolutely love business development. I mean, it's in my DNA. And you know, I have a total appreciation for the importance of building relationships with new and existing clients, and that's absolutely vital for a successful agency. And you know, I get just as excited now with the opportunity of a new business meeting, like I did, you know, 20 plus
Yeah.
years ago. And I really, really enjoy, you know, working together as a team on a client's challenge, and strategically and creatively putting together a proposal. So yeah, it is part of my DNA. It's the part of my job that I love the most. And I think, coming from a sort of business development background, I know really not to ever get complacent,
Yeah.
and it's constantly about growing opportunities and building those sort of relationships with your clients, and being a really valuable partner to all your clients. So I think that's what I brought to the sort of MD role, is that sort of new business or business development focus. And I think that has been a big part of us as an agency, and how we've grown over the years.
Yeah. And it, you know, that from my perspective, it's leading from the front. It's, you know, at the end of the day, being an MD, that it's a multifaceted role that we're, you know, being MDs, we're all stretched in with your strengths and weaknesses. But being a out and out business developer, that has got to be one of the best skill sets you can have to lead, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a wonderful career for anyone who's starting in the sort of agency world, because you get to work with all departments within an agency. You're also there at the very beginning of a client relationship, and as a good business developer, you need to be you need to have sort of multi skills, I would say. So you need
Yeah.
to understand you know, elements from strategy through to creative and production. So it's you know, most agencies tend to have one or two business development leads within their business, or set up within a team. But you work so closely with all departments, so you get a really good picture of the whole agency. And so, as I suppose, as an MD, having that appreciation for all the different departments and all the different skill sets is really valuable as you sort of build your career
Yeah.
within that agency or other agencies. And yeah, I think it's a fantastic opportunity for anyone who wants to get into business development as part of a good career path.
Yeah. So one skill that I think that you haven't mentioned that I think it's quite important actually is it's uh, it's bringing that energy to, you know,
Yeah.
within business development. You know, you can't be a business developer if you've got no energy. Absolutely,
No,
you know,
no, no,
no
no, no,
chance. And
no,
I
no.
think that's, you know, for me, seeing that ability to give to have that energy in, you know, your product, your people, your offering, and taking that out to the individuals that you're talking to and making them believe that, you
Yeah.
know, that's got to be key, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's about being optimistic, and entrepreneurial. And I think, you know, that's a key value that we look for with people that we employ. But having that sort of energy, that sort of constant go-get attitude is absolutely valuable. You know, as I said earlier, quite often, you know, business development leads, you know, work across all the sort of different departments. But, you know, there is often times when you do get knocked back. You have to keep sort of, you know, your vision and your focus on the role and on the job at hand, and being positive and bringing that energy to the agency and those that you're working with is absolutely vital. And, you know, when it comes to, you know, pitching, it's important that, you know, you have a very energized and proactive team, and, you know, that work well together to sort of deliver. And that we all know this, but the best pitches tend to be the ones which actually the team have really gelled well together. There is a really positive attitude within that team, and you get the best out of people, you know, by leading in that way.
So what challenges do you face on a daily basis as being MD of Avantgarde? And I know, obviously, you know, the last 12 months, you know, challenges have been more than ever for everybody in business. But, you know, it'd be interesting from your perspective, given that I would say probably the live event industry has probably been affected greater than any bar, hospitality, and, you know, probably travel. So, yeah, what challenges do you face?
Well, yeah, I mean, exactly that. I mean, the last 12 months have been, you know, incredibly challenging for our sector. And we at Avantgarde, you know, we were fortunate that I'd say 5 or 6 years ago, we heavily invested into our sort of digital services and expertise. So we were able to pivot very quickly into delivering digital experiences through virtual environments, social and digital events, and as you know, a lot of the sort of live and physical activations were cancelled. We were very quick to be able to demonstrate to our clients how they can still reach their sort of target audience, how can they still reach their customer base through other different means. And so it has been a challenging period for our sector, and but I think also our sector again has proved its versatility and the way that we can evolve. So, you know, we really have, as a sector as a whole, you know, brand experience have demonstrated, you know, how we can evolve, but also what we can do for our clients during these sort of challenging times. So it has been a challenge the last 12 months. It's certainly been a roller coaster of a ride, but it's also been very exciting at points. And it's the last 12 months has pushed both agencies and clients to look at how to do things differently. And as you know, the restrictions are now being eased, and we're coming out of the sort of lockdown period and the restrictions that have been applied. I think it's a really exciting time for our industry. You know, as we're looking into sort of more hybrid and sort of blended type solutions between digital and physical. So I think our industry is going to come out of this even stronger. And you know, at the end of the day, we're social animals, and we want to socialize. We crave being you know, to socialize and be in groups and have that sort of contact. And so yes, brand experiences will come back, but we'll also be looking at how we do things differently, like we've done over the last 12 months. So I think it's a really, really interesting time for our sector, and a very exciting time for our sector.
Yeah, you must be Well, I think like everybody, you must be incredibly busy at the moment, because it seems like every brand in the world is sitting there looking at when do we activate back into sports events live.
They are. I mean, we've been working on plans and developing solutions for a number of existing clients, but also new ones that we've started working with during this pandemic. And so it's been great to see the solutions that we've been able to provide our existing clients and also new clients, but also how that's now evolving into sort of more of a hybrid solution going forward. And with sports, music, entertainment, B2B, there's a lot of different ways of how they can reach and engage their audiences. And the pandemic, as I said, has pushed our sector and moved it forward rapidly over the last 12 months.
But so one of the challenges that you're obviously, like Avantgarde, digitizing the business on a global basis, you'd actually, well, I think, when Jason came in, it was probably in 2019.
A couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago. So actually, in terms of the whole group, UK, as in Avantgarde UK, you really did pivot hard, because it was, in terms of the amount of time it had a fully functioning digital department, which wasn't that long, was it? So, testament to you.
Yeah, I mean, we had growing elements of it prior to that, but having a good leader like Jason within the team has obviously helped drive that forward even further. And to the point that we've even created our own bit of a plug here, our own
plug away.
Virtual experience platform called Vite. There's a lot of sort of virtual event platforms, off the shelf solutions out there, and we quickly realized early on that those were sort of there were solutions, or there were platforms which actually were very fixed in what they offered, and no experience, as we know, is the same. So we've created a sort of bespoke service where we're able to create and deliver these sort of virtual experiences based on exactly what the client needs. So it's a very versatile, very agile service that which we've developed, and Vite has been going from strength to strength over the last 12 months. And that very much comes down to Jason and his team, and our creative team, and our project managers who've pushed that forward. So to the point that we're working with a number of new clients on it, which is great. And as I said, that's a very useful service that will continue to evolve and use even when the sort of the restrictions have been completely lifted.
Well, it's sort of, you end up looking at your business in different ways, productizing it in different ways. Then you start anything, when you make big changes, you can then start looking at charging in different ways, subscription models, and all that sort of stuff, which actually, what out of bad always comes good things and good opportunities for the business, right? Yeah. So what does success look like in your role?
I think it just comes back to having a really motivated and diverse team who are passionate and enjoy what they do. And I think seeing the creativity and the innovation that we provide our clients, and the motivation that my team has to do that. That's, for me, is what success looks like in my role at Avantgarde. And going back to the point, the last 12 months has been incredibly hard for everyone, and but I've been so pleased with the level of motivation and the level of sort of positive attitude that my team has demonstrated throughout it. It's been incredible. So yeah, for me, success comes to the team that I work with and their passion and their motivation.
So that probably covers my next question about what do you love most about being MD, because it's all intertwined, is it not?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's working with a team of of experts in their fields, whether it's creative, digital design, production, or client services. And I'm very fortunate that I've sort of surrounded my team with people who are absolutely brilliant at what they do, and I learn from them every day.
Mm-hmm.
They are the experts in their different fields, and for me, I learn from them, and it is about having a team of passionate experts who are constantly pushing and evolving the agency, and it's great to be part of that. So yeah.
Let's unpack this title: brand experience expert, frustrated explorer, mountaineer, and martial artist. How do these skills build you up to be an MD that you are today? Because there's got to be a lot in there that helps.
Yeah, I mean, look, I love challenges, and I really enjoy pushing myself. I've always enjoyed adventure,
Yeah,
and
come on, tell us a couple. I want to know, give us a few, because there are some pretty good ones in there with you and Richard
yeah.
Stone.
So I mean, over the years, I've well, I've trekked through the Sahara in Libya with a few camels. I've spent a long period of time trekking through the jungle of Borneo. I cycled from Pakistan to China over the Karakoram Mountains.
Yeah, that was nuts. That was just like, I remember you telling me you were going
Yeah.
to do it. I was like,
Yeah. Unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to do it now. Unfortunately, it's the route across the Karakoram Mountains has become too dangerous. But yeah, that was an incredible trip, and that actually was I did that with a friend of ours
yeah,
from
with
school,
Richie, exactly.
and yeah, and we it was a lot of planning, but it was just the two of us with the bikes that we shipped over with our tents and kit and food and stuff, and yeah, we landed in Pakistan, and then got a military Hercules plane to Gilgit. Took off our bikes, built them up, packed up our bags, and off we went. And yeah, it was quite an adventure. And yeah, eventually got to China, and then flew back home from China. So yeah, that was quite an adventure. But for me, it's I suppose what I've learned about all of that is sort of preparing yourself and planning, and the twists and turns of life and the agency world. You need to sort of plan ahead, because not everything always goes to plan, and so making sure that you are prepared when things do go off course, because they will. And I think, as I said, I enjoy pushing myself, and I feel most alive really when I'm sort of outside my comfort zone, and whether that's on top of a mountain or in a dojo,
Yeah.
or striving to evolve and move the agency forward. So I suppose it's just part of who I am, and that's again a really great part of my job, which I enjoy the most.
See, I would say, you're a fierce competitor.
Yeah, I suppose I'm a bit competitive. Maybe not everyone's cup of tea. I enjoy the competitive element of anything, but I enjoy that, and but I
That's why
enjoy
we get
doing
on
that
so well, Stu.
yeah, yeah. But I enjoy
Two,
doing it as part of a team, and
yeah.
it's great fun. Working as a team, and just striving to go forward keep moving the agency forward, or striving to reach up the top of that mountain. So yeah.
Good. So with that in mind, how does this sort of trickle into the agency and the people at Avantgarde?
It comes down to the people that we employ, and we very much look for that sort of entrepreneurial spirit, and individuals who are sort of who can work as a team, but also self-reliant, and that they're passionate about what they do, whatever it is. And that's really, really important for us as a business. And finding and working with those individuals who have that sort of, I suppose, again, that sort of DNA, that those sort of values within them is something that we look for. And it again, coming back to the last 12 months, it's demonstrated to me, the team that I have around me, that that they maintain that sort of level of positivity, and that they are passionate in what they do, and again, we've been able to evolve as an agency more so than ever in the last 12 months, down to the people that I have and have recruited within Avantgarde. So yeah,
and I suppose more than ever, coming out of this, I think everybody recognises that we've got 5-8 years of hopefully good, hopefully not too many mountains in the road.
But you never know. You never know. And things change all the time, and you can't plan for everything. But I think it's been able to be able to change direction when you need to, and be able to do that efficiently, and be able to sort of take everyone as a team on that journey, because nothing, things don't always go to plan. So that's why it's important when working with great recruitment agencies like yourself, who sort of understand our values and our culture within our business, so that we're able to recruit those types of people. And because they come with that sort of versatility, they come with that sort of energy, and it's more important than ever when things like this pandemic suddenly appear, which no one could really prepare for, that we work as a team to get through it.
Yeah, it's resilience, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So recently you worked on an interesting project. Tell us about artificial intelligence that will write poetry for alien worlds.
Yeah, so you're talking about the UK pavilion for the World Expo.
Yeah, massive project, amazing project.
Yeah, no, really exciting, and we've been working on it now for over 2.5 years. It goes live later this year in Dubai, and we put together a world-class team of experts, including the lead designer Ez Devlin, to create a pavilion which visitors can choose a word on their mobile device, and that sort of feeds into a sort of clever algorithm which we've developed, and that creates a sort of continuous couplet, a sort of poem, which is then beamed out from the facade of the pavilion. And it's demonstrating great AI, and it's a beautifully designed architectural pavilion, which I'm really looking forward to. Being able
You've got to be pretty proud of it as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But again, really proud of the team and the experts that we've brought together to create it. So really looking forward to seeing it going live later this year.
When is that exactly?
It's in October, yeah.
In October.
So beginning of October. Yeah.
So you'll be out in Dubai for a few weeks, will you?
Yeah, we'll be out there. We're going to be running an event for some of our clients as well, which we'll be inviting out there to see it. I mean, the World Expo is visited by millions of visitors from all over the world, and yes, it's a really exciting project to be involved with. And you know, we we always had a vision to work on a pavilion, and you know, we pitched to design and create the UK pavilion, and like I said, through the team that we put together, we won that opportunity, and it's it's an absolutely fantastic piece of work, and and working with the DIT, the Department of International Trade, within the British government, has been it's been a great experience.
Awesome. So on to the future. Where do you personally want to be in 5 to 10 years from now? It's it's a big amount of time, but where do you want to be, Stu?
I think you know, it's continuing really to build on our experience first approach for global clients across multiple markets, and you know, for me, opening up new offices around the world. We're looking at opening up a new one, which I can't announce yet, but we'll be able to probably later this year. But also, you know, from a personal standpoint, I would also like to run my own dojo and teach women and young people the importance of sort of self-defense. So that's from a sort of more of a personal, I suppose, passion. But I think it really is about, you know, as I said earlier, you know, how our industry brand experience has evolved over recent years, but certainly over the last 12 months is, and we at Avantgarde, we put experience first, and you know, the experience economy is growing. It's where it's at, and you know, for me, being able to sort of keep our focus and growing our international offices and our business into many different areas within the experience economy, for me is an exciting time, and you know, I look forward to sort of maintaining that sort of momentum over the next sort of 5 or 10 years.
And you know, growing in the business, do you think you know, it's funny, isn't it, because it could come full circle? You know, you obviously, you know, with the growth and the development, you know, your MD now move into a CEO role. Naturally, CEO roles they revert back into more client facing, don't they? Sort of, once again, business development, having those high end conversations. Do you think that's something that where you could see yourself going?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I suppose it could be. I mean, obviously, you know, Avantgarde, we've got 12 offices worldwide. At the moment we operate in over.
Biggest independent, is that?
Yeah, we are certainly one of the largest brand experience agencies and in the world, and you know, working with my colleagues around the world, and you know, we like to see Avantgarde as being one agency with a good geographical spread. You know, we're an agency that, you know, never has that sort of question, who are those guys in Brazil and do we have an office there? I mean, we work very well together. We work with each other on certain clients. We share best practice. We communicate. We share employees across our different markets. So, you know, working with my international colleagues has always been a really important part of my role, and a part that I really enjoy, and I, you know, look to sort of keep on that sort of I suppose that part.
Well, that comes back, me knowing you, that comes back very, you know, from a really strong perspective. You know, I remember you turning up at Gresham's, and you know, you were very international to me, the sort of, you know, Norfolk farmer who'd hardly been out of the UK, and in bowls, you know, this rather sort of confident, burly, bloke from Belgium.
with long hair.
Yeah, with long hair.
With long
And
hair.
no, but I really
Yeah.
remember it, and it's something I do remember, is that international side. And I think from an outsider looking in,
Yeah.
you being able to work with loads of different nationalities and countries and everything else, it was sort of, it was in your DNA. It was made for you.
Yeah, I mean, I was really fortunate that, you know, I grew up in Belgium and went to an international school. So for me, you know, my friends, you know, then and now come from all over the world. You know, I have great friends from Kenya to Fiji to South Africa, you know, all across Europe,
Kings
and
Lynn.
that was, pardon, and
Kings
Kings
Lynn.
Lynn and Kings Lynn, uh, and you know, that was, you know, for me that was again very fortunate, but that was the norm. And going to an international school where a lot of the children whose parents worked in the different embassies, they would move on after sort of, you know, 2 or 3 years to another sort of posting. So I got very used to, I suppose, building friendships easily with a lot of different cultures. And I suppose I was, again, you know, I thought that was the norm. And you know, and I really appreciate it now looking back, that it taught me so much, that of the diversity of cultures, and working with people internationally. And I, you know, I love that part of my job, and being part of a, you know, a global brand experience agency like Avantgarde is a great,
Yeah.
is absolutely wonderful, because I, you know, I
Inspirational,
continue
isn't it?
to you know, to have those relationships internationally, and work with clients across different markets. And yeah, it's a great part of what I'm able to do.
Nice. So, with all the continued influences such as AI, the ever-changing client demands, where do you see the marketing agency industry going as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, I think AI is a really interesting area, which, funny enough, I don't think the marketing sector is particularly embraced as much as, say, other sectors have.
Hmm.
And I think it's got huge potential. I mean, I'm fortunate that I work in a sector where I believe, you know, it is evolving, as I said. And we all, you know, we're all bombarded every day with sort of passive forms of sort of communication. But, you know, brand experience has proved to be the most successful way to build a sort of a meaningful and a long-term relationship with new and existing um, clients or
Hmm.
audiences. Sorry. And you know, we've also seen in the last sort of 12 months, as I said, how incredibly dynamic our sector can be. And so, you know, the future for me is all about hybrid or blended experiences within the experience economy. But I think we'll start to see a lot more use of um, within it. And as you know, as I previously mentioned, what we're doing with the UK pavilion is just a small part of, really, well, not a small part, but a, you know, a great part of what we can deliver as an agency. But I certainly see AI becoming used a lot more within the sort of marketing sector, but certainly within sort of brand experience. But you know, our sector has a track record of being able to evolve, and as I said, in the last 12 months, we've demonstrated that successfully. So, yeah, I think it's very interesting times ahead.
Cool. So three pieces of advice to the younger generation. Um, so, like yourself, for when you started out, what would you like to tell yourself now? So I think it's quite important.
Yeah, I think really it is about following, you know, follow your dream, follow your passion. You know, I think um, it should never feel like a job if you're doing something that you're passionate about, and never give up on, you know, what your dream or your vision is. And you know, a lot of people say that, but there's over the years of, there are a lot of people out there that say it can't be done, or they're quick to sort of knock your sort of vision and what your passion might be. And I think work out where you want to be in the next sort of, say, 5 or 10 years. Picture it and go for it. And don't let those that don't have a sort of passion or vision to sort of knock you back. And I think the things that I say to anyone sort of starting in any career, but certainly within the agency world, is follow what you are most passionate about, and keep striving for it. And because you will take setbacks, and things, like I said earlier, won't always go to plan. But if you passionately believe in it, then keep going. Have that stamina, keep going for it, and don't worry if you make mistakes along the way. Getting things wrong is always an important part of the journey. But just
biggest way to
learn from those mistakes, and then just keep going. And never listen to people who say it can't be done. So that's really, I suppose, my
nice
words of advice.
Very good advice. So lastly, 3 resources that you use for personal development, and that could be anything, because I know that lots of people have different ways of developing themselves. So what are they for you?
I think three books that I can recommend. Anyone can read. I think the first one is called Agencynomics, by Spencer Gallagher. Really good book, written by a guy who created and developed a digital agency and then went on to sell that. And it gives you a real sort of good understanding of creating an agency and the sort of watch outs that go with it. One which I'm sure lots of people have read, and if they haven't, I highly recommend it. It's called Business for Punks. That's by the founder of Brewdog, James Watt. Really, really good book. And it's all about not following the norm. And again, written by an industry leader who really created a whole new category of craft beer, and has done things differently to any of the other sort of previous or current sort of large breweries. And yeah, a really, really good book, worth reading.
If there's someone that's done experience well, crikey.
Yeah. And he does not follow the rules, and he's been able to really carve a fantastic brand, fantastic business. And so I highly recommend Business for Punks. And then a book I read a few years ago, which I've read a few times since, which is called The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. And it's about a fisherman who never gives up against all odds. A fictitious book. It's a short novel. I've read it, many times over, and but it's just about an individual that just doesn't give up, and it's about his fight against the elements, and how he gets through it, and that sort of determination that he has within him. So I recommend those 3 books, really.
Awesome. I as you know, I'm not a massive reader, but I'll get them on audio.
Definitely, all 3 really easy to read. I'm pretty sure if you don't have time to read, then you can certainly listen to them on audiobooks.
No, definitely. So Stu, it's been an absolute pleasure. Someone that is, well, I would say, without a shadow of a doubt, a very dear friend, and also a client who I there aren't many people in this world that you can have as a friend and a client, and I think you're one of the few that I have got. So I thank you for that. All
No,
right.
I thank you, and thanks for all your support over the years.
Yeah.
And DNA has been really supportive and a great recruitment partner for many years, and I look forward to continuing to work with you, Ali.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, buddy.
It has been. Yeah. Cheers, Ali.
Excellent. Thanks, Stu.